Good afternoon, Forest Hills. This is your favorite DJ, Samuel Blake, coming to you live. Today is That's better. Folks, I have some grave news for you all. Today, our beloved record, Vagabond Blues by Solomon Stewart, has gone to music heaven. His record is scratched, and his beautiful voice and heartfelt trumpet will no longer be played on the station. It's a tragic loss, especially now that I only have 4 records left. But folks, the Samuel Blake Show isn't about a wide variety of music. It's about the joy of staying sane during this hard time. I know a lot of us are feeling the isolation and the loneliness, the sheer boredom, and I know your pain. And I'm here to tell you that I still care. Oh, I forgot to thank this show's sponsor. Today's show is sponsored by hugs. Yes, the abstract concept of hugs. Feeling blue? Feeling like there's nothing left? Try hugs. Got no one to hug you? Give yourself a hug. You deserve it. Thank you, sponsor. It's people like you that keeps this show on the air. Folks, I want to talk to you today about personal projects that have kept you sane. As always, we're opening up the phone lines to anyone who wants to share their experiences. Please, call in and tell me what you've been up to since the Nova. I'd love to hear from you. We're standing by now. As usual, no callers. That's okay. I love you all anyway. Well, while we're waiting, let's talk to our very special guest. Hey boy, come here. Come here. Oh, who's a good boy? I'm happy to have back our favorite guest and resident good boy, Rusty. Thanks for coming back, Rusty. Aw, he doesn't want to be interviewed. He wants to be scratched, don't you, boy? Folks, we're going to have to take a short break while our guest cleans himself. But we'll be back soon for the scoop on what Rusty's thinking. Till then, how about we get the day started with some smooth jazz from Big Daddy Bentley. This is the old standard you all know and love, Rhythm Central. Folks, we're back. I know we were all eagerly awaiting to hear from everyone's favorite good boy, but he unfortunately had to go take care of some business outside. That's okay. I want to share with you all something peculiar I found. See, when we were talking about hobbies during this harsh time, I neglected to mention one of my new hobbies involved in old CB radio. I found it in the basement of one of the nearby buildings, and it still works! Isn't that something? So, I plugged it in nearby, and while I was scanning through the networks, I found the most peculiar thing. I want to play it for you all, and let me know what you think.
Sam, whoever you are now, old friend, I'm currently at Sam, whoever you are.
Isn't that mysterious? That signal just loops and loops and loops. It's bizarre. Is this signal calling out to me? Am I the old friend he's talking about? I can't imagine who is behind this. As far as I know, most of my friends are gone. How about we go to the phone lines again? What do you guys think? Is this some prank? A mysterious call for help? I want to hear your theories. Well, while we wait for you guys, how about I tell you all my theory? You see, I think this is... Folks, you're hearing this too, right? There's a woman just outside my studio knocking on my glass. It's our first human guest in 6 months! Wow. Oh, why don't we go say hi? Welcome. Oh my gosh. It's so nice having another person in here.
What is this?
This is the Samuel Blake radio show. We broadcast locally from morning to afternoon. I'd love to have an evening show, but I'm just one man, unfortunately.
Wait, are people are listening to us right now?
You know, I don't know if anyone is actually listening to us. For all I know, we're speaking to no one right now. But if there is someone listening, wouldn't want to let them down, would we?
I suppose not.
And what's your name?
Alice.
That's a lovely name, Alice. I'm Samuel, like I said. What brings you around here?
Well, I picked up your channel and decided to come find you.
So I did have a listener. I'm honored. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Oh, well, no, I just mean I found it as I walked into town.
Ah, a first-time listener. That's okay. We here at the Samuel Blake Radio Show value all our listeners equally. First-timers, long-timers, you're all special.
Oh.
And see? Even resident good boy Rusty likes you.
He's cute.
Isn't he? So, Alice, what brings you into town?
It's a long story. I took shelter at a supermarket when Nova hit, but I ran out of food. So I came looking for a new supply.
Wow. You ran out of food in a few months with an entire supermarket at your disposal? You must eat quite a bit.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't a supermarket. It's a regular market. It didn't have that much food to begin with.
Still, that's quite a lot. But the market nearby still has lots of canned and dried foods. You're welcome to it. Why not even stay for dinner? I'm a terrible cook, but I got at least one meal down.
Oh, gosh. I'm not sure.
You're right, we just met. I'm being a little too forward.
Oh,
hey, since you're here, I want to get your opinion on the signal I picked up.
Signal?
Yeah, I found an old CB radio in the basement of a nearby building a few days ago, and it's looping a message calling for a Sam, telling him he's sorry and where he's located, but unfortunately, that part cuts out before I can hear what he says.
A Sam? Like you?
I don't know.
That's interesting. Someone you know?
Maybe? But I can't imagine who.
Can you track the signal?
You can do that?
Yeah. If you get a radio tracker, you can see where the signal is.
Oh, shoot! I've got a great idea then. Let's head downtown and find an abandoned electronics store.
Right now?
Sure. In the meantime, how about we play an old favorite? Charlie Raz's masterpiece, Tip Top. Don't go away, listeners. More on this mystery as it develops. Come on, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Someone really barricaded this place up.
And is this where the signal is coming from?
Possibly. If not, then it's further this direction.
So, we may have bashed open this door for no reason?
No reason. I mean, look at this place. It's so cool. I bet no one has set foot in here in at least a few years. It looks like it was out of business even before Nova.
I suppose. What were they even selling?
No idea. The sign was too faded to read.
I need to sit down. I'm exhausted.
Go for it. I'm gonna explore a little bit.
Is this what you do to pass the time?
Yeah. Run the radio show and explore the city. I was a bit of a shut-in before Nova hit. And even a little during. Then I finally decided to get out of bed and go see the city now that all the people are gone.
You don't seem like the kind of person who gets shy around people.
Well, living in an empty city for a year definitely changes that. Wonder what's behind this door.
Is it just me, or is there a weird symbol on it?
Oh yeah. Someone scratched it on the door. Looks fairly new. Guess we aren't the first visitor in years. How disappointing.
What did you do before the Nova?
Web developer. You?
Actor.
No kidding. Were you in anything I'd have heard of?
I doubt it. I was in a TV pilot that never aired and 2 movies that never made it to the theaters.
That's a shame. But hey, don't give up. I'm sure there will be more opportunities once this is over.
I won't.
Say, what's in this room?
What?
It's just a gallery of some kind. These paintings are really interesting.
This is really creepy.
Check out the names. My original intent. This is you in the past. This one is called Touch Me.
What's going on in it?
I think it's some kind of family portrait. It's...
What? What is it? Samuel? You okay? Good morning, Forest Hills. I know I'm not your usual DJ. Samuel is asleep still. In the meantime, this is Alice Fletcher at his place, broadcasting to you live. So, this is my first time broadcasting. I don't know how he usually does it, but I didn't want his fans to be disappointed. So, here I am. I don't know what he normally plays for you guys, but it looks like he only has like 3 records that still work. This one is called Bernie Metzger, Heaven's Trumpets, produced... Oh, goodness, that's a long time ago. Okay, that sounds good to me. Why don't we play this? How do we play records? Let's see here. Oh, good. Our host is awake. Samuel, how do I play records?
What are you doing?
I'm keeping your radio show going for you. I'm sorry, I wanted to ask, but you've been unconscious since yesterday, and I thought it would be a shame if your listeners didn't have a show.
Well, first of all, you need to push this button here to actually broadcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was unconscious.
You just passed out at the art exhibit. I carried you back here and did my best to care for you, but I didn't know what was wrong.
Well, that explains the multiple ice packs all over my body. Hang on. How did you carry me here? I'm twice your size.
I found a cart.
Ow!
You okay? Do you need some medicine?
Just a headache. Wow. This feels really weird.
What happened yesterday?
I have no idea.
Do you need to sleep some more?
No. I think I need to go for a walk.
A walk? What for?
Just to clear my head. You can go ahead and host my radio show. This button here plays records once you put them in place.
Oh, okay. Have a good walk. Good morning, Samuel Blake fans. I know I'm not the voice you were expecting. Our host needs some time to clear his head. In the meantime, this is...
Hello, Sam.
Hi, Hammond. It's been a while.
Hammond. I haven't heard that name in a long time. How'd you get in?
Key was under the mat. Like it was when we lived together back in Drummond.
It really is you, then. And you remember everything.
Ever since I grabbed that picture of all my past lives.
Then that spell worked. Good.
I don't understand. Why have I been living all these lives?
You remember that ritual we performed when we were kids?
Vaguely.
It worked. Our souls became tied together. I didn't realize it until now,
Wait, what are you saying?
Jessica, Firestorm, the mysterious voice? That is all me.
How?
It's a long story.
I got all the time in the world.
I suppose you make a good point. Well, remember that pill I swallowed when my father found me?
The suicide pill, right?
That wasn't a suicide pill. You can think of it more like an emergency escape for my soul. Eating it flung my consciousness far into the future to some other body.
What body?
Richard Shapiro's.
Who?
The man who owned the house you explored.
Huh. Must have forgotten about that.
My new body was much more frail. I knew I didn't have much time, so I worked to build up my power again, but I passed away before I could discover how to make another soul escape method. Peter was the one who knew how to make those. All I could do was tie my soul to that house and wait till someone stepped foot in it.
And it wasn't until we came in that you did.
Not even realtors came. No one wanted to touch that house.
Not until a group of dumb teenagers came exploring.
Jessica was the first one I could find.
So, why not just inhabit her body and leave with us? Why kill Ben?
Did you forget his name?
It was a long time ago, okay?
The process of inhabiting a body isn't easy, nor very discreet. I got lucky the first time since Richard lived alone. Ben came into the room as I was possessing her, probably trying to scare me. He started asking questions that I didn't have answers to, and he had to go.
I knew it.
I regret doing it.
So, you killed Ben. Now what?
Well, now I can't raise suspicion, so I need to make it seem like the candlestick hit him while I was away from the room. I placed the candlestick on the shelf and let the wind knock it over while I was away.
Clever.
You saw through it anyway.
So, if no one witnessed it, how did Mark figure out it was murder?
Mark probably saw the open page I was reading before I passed away. I bet he could read that it was talking about tying my soul to that house and using it to possess someone. After Ben died, he could put two and two together.
I guess that's why he couldn't tell us.
After we split up, I ran into him again. He paranoidly pointed his gun at me. I had no choice but to retaliate. I wrestled that gun from him and shot him in the head. Like I said, I panicked and stuffed the gun in his coat while realizing that it implicated me.
That's when I finally realized what happened.
And when I realized you were the same person. Brittany was the one who killed you, by the way. She thought you were the one attacking me.
Huh. I was wondering about that.
After we escaped, I resumed life as Jessica. I had all her memories, so imitating her wasn't difficult. But I saw corruption everywhere, even worse than back in my first life. I knew that forcing cooperation failed last time, so I couldn't do that again. Then I read a comic book detailing a superhero who inspired hope and change in the citizens. I knew I needed to be like that. I ran away from home and began work on my new identity.
Firestorm.
The same.
What was your plan?
Recruit a whole organization of superpowered people. Less of them were needed than the police force, so keeping them in line shouldn't have been that hard. Some people needed to be sacrificed to maintain my powers, but I figured it was worth it.
So, why brainwash Stephanie if you didn't want to force people anymore?
I suppose I was still paranoid. When I met her, she had this incredible independent spirit. I was worried that she might betray me, and I'd need to start over for the second time.
But she escaped.
I wasn't paying attention one day. She fled and I didn't see her again until you two came to find me. I had her under my control, and you disappeared.
I disappeared?
I was hoping you could explain how.
Wait, but I was told I ran away.
Told?
I lost my memory of that night. I spent the next day retracing my steps.
That's peculiar. I had nothing to do with that.
No. I think I know how it happened.
How?
It's not important. So, after we defeated you, we found you dead. How did you die?
I had created a similar soul escape pill that I had in my first life, but it wasn't perfect. I never properly learned how to create one, and my next hop was unstable.
Unstable?
I found myself in a body of a man named Winston Jones, a science officer on a spaceship.
What happened?
I can't remember. I could feel my body almost imploding from the inside out. I tried ritual after ritual in my room to stop it, but to no avail. Then I just blacked out.
We had footage of Winston Jones outside the ship, surrounded by the crew and drawing energy from his bodies.
Good Lord. I can't imagine what I did then. I must have been desperate to save myself any way I could. It cost the whole ship their lives.
And you seem awfully calm about it.
I've lived several lifetimes, Sam. I'm too tired. I woke up in this frail body, trapped in this basement. I have a disease. It's ripping my body from the inside out.
What does it matter? Won't you just hop to another body after you die?
I'm afraid this is it, Sam.
What do you mean?
Ensuring my soul will move on to another life after I die takes an immense amount of effort and sacrifice. I no longer have the energy to do that. I'm done. Sam, say something.
What do you want me to say?
I haven't seen my friend in so long, Sam.
Evidently, we've seen each other quite a few times.
You know what I mean.
Hammond, I don't know. I'm feeling a few mixed emotions right now.
I understand.
I thought I would be angrier than this. I should be. Shouldn't I?
I don't have the answer for you, Sam.
It just feels like so long ago. I remember being Samara. I remember being broken, that my best friend was dead. I knew he did some bad things. And I believed my whole life that bad people deserve to be punished, but I just wanted my friend back. I didn't even want to be a guard anymore.
You quit?
Not at first, but eventually, yeah. It just felt so empty after a while.
I'm sorry to hear that. You were good at it.
Thanks. I eventually found a purpose in the royal court.
As an official? Doing what?
I became the king's legal aid. I fought to rewrite a lot of the broken laws that let people like Thomas and other guardsmen get away with their misdeeds.
Wow. That's impressive.
It was all thanks to you, Hammond.
Me?
Yeah. Your death resonated with me. I know you had good intentions, even if Peter's influence led you down the wrong path. I wanted to fix all the problems that drove you to that place.
Did you?
Somewhat. I think I died before I fixed everything I wanted to. But I had no regrets.
That sounds nice.
I think that drive followed me the rest of my lives. But when I was Sam, I was studying to be a lawyer, and probably would have been a great one if I hadn't died. After the samurai turned in his costume, I started an organization to campaign for better police accountability. And as Samantha, I used my captain position to eventually become an ISS senator.
And now?
Well, not a lot of corruption in a nearly empty world, is there? Most I can do is broadcast to what's left of the human race and tell them it's all going to be okay.
A noble goal as any.
And now that I found you again and you're not trying to kill me, I just don't know what to do with you anymore, Hammond.
I understand.
I wish we had some mead.
Yes. It has been quite a long time.
Peter's mead was the best.
Oh, nothing compared.
Do you suppose his consciousness is somewhere out there, also continuing the fight against corruption?
That was never his true goal.
Oh. This sounds like a story I need to hear.
Sam. Thank you.
Don't mention it. So, what was Peter up to?
Well, Peter's body was inhabited by a consciousness from the past, the same way mine was with Jessica's. When he first awoke, he came to me to ask.
So, I think by the time I was 10, my mother had let me go explore a bit more. I went out into the woods and found this beautiful spot to go play in. I think that was the time I finally decided I wanted to be an explorer, to see the world and all that, you know? After that, I started looking into what kind of work I could go into as an explorer. I found this wonderful college where... Samuel, welcome back. You were gone a long time.
Sorry, I ran into something.
Boy, this radio thing is really addictive. I can see why you do it. How about you tell the audience where you went?
Who are you?
What do you mean? I'm Alice Fletcher.
No, I know that. But this isn't the first time we met, is it?
It isn't?
No. You were the barmaid at the tavern where the brainwashing was taking place. You were also the person who led me to Firestorm's hideout, and a scientist from... Thurston, was it?
You remember all that?
I do.
Wow, I guess you are the same person. I thought it was just a coincidence.
I know you're not just some actor trying to survive the apocalypse. You've been following me, haven't you?
Well,
It's okay. I don't think you mean any harm. I'm just extremely curious now that I know.
Well, I suppose it's all right. Yes, you are correct. I'm not some actress trying to survive the apocalypse. I'm actually from the future.
You time travel. Sure. Why not?
I guess you could say I'm a sort of historian. I travel around time collecting whatever important information I can about significant events in history.
And I'm a part of a significant event.
Your struggle against Hammond is something of a legend. 2 people fighting across time and space? I came back to find out what truth I could about it.
And?
Well, it's far weirder than I could have imagined. I assumed, like many of my colleagues, that it's just a rumor, but it turns out to be the result of complex niptology.
What's niptology?
The way you were able to follow Hammond around, the way he was able to create energy blasts, brainwash, and so on. It's a much better understood science where I come from. I'm no expert myself, but I know it when I see it.
So, why keep the name Alice Fletcher throughout time?
It's a tracking name. It's hard to explain, but it's how my superiors are able to track me through history. If I changed my name each time, and something catastrophic happened, they'd have no way of recovering me.
Doesn't that make it easier to get found out?
Not really. Most of the people I follow I just meet once, and that's it. If anyone sees a passing mention of Alice Fletcher in a historical document, they'd write it off as a coincidence. As long as I can keep close but stay insignificant, I can hide.
I see. And were you the cause of my memory loss when I was a samurai?
How'd you figure that out?
I found out it wasn't Firestorm. And you being in all my past lives made you the most suspicious. Then, when you told me you were a time traveler, it made sense to me you were the one who could have done it.
The night you met me, you're supposed to find out about Hammond's whereabouts from someone else. I figured it didn't matter who you found it out from, so I decided to take their place a little earlier, pretending to be an informant. But I made a mistake and took you to the warehouse while Firestorm was there. She was about to kill you, which would have altered the timeline greatly. I had to teleport you out of harm's way. Once you started asking questions, I panicked and erased your memory. By that point, I changed things so drastically, I had to correct them.
So that's why you offered your help.
I'm sorry.
And the Japanese on the door?
Also me. I added it after everyone left the warehouse. I have a universal translator, too.
Why go to all this trouble? Why not just travel back in time and correct it?
It doesn't work like that. The same person can't occupy the same point in a timeline they already occupy. I'd only be able to appear after I left or before I'd arrived.
Oh boy. Now I'm lost.
It's complicated, I know. It took me 5 years of study before I even got the basics.
So, now what? Surely you know the saga is over.
I suppose I go back to my time, file my report, and wait for my next assignment.
So, there's still a society in the future? This apocalypse won't last forever?
Sort of?
Sort of.
I wish I had simple answers for you, but even I don't know the whole picture. It's not a bleak future if that's what you're wondering.
One last question. Why admit this all to me?
Did you forget I have the ability to erase your memory?
And now, hold on,
I know you've had an emotionally draining day, but I know things will get better for you. It's been quite the journey, Sam, but this is where we part ways. Goodbye.